While you're watching this video, your money is literally disappearing. Not because someone hacked your bank account, but because of something way more sneaky. And the crazy part, you've been trained to think this is normal. Look, I know what you're thinking. My money's fine, it's sitting right there in my account. Wrong. Dead wrong. Every single second that passes, your money loses value. Not tomorrow, not next month, right freaking now. And here's the kicker. This isn't some accident. This isn't some random economic thing that just happens. No. This is by design. You've been living in this weird financial matrix where you think your dollar today is worth the same as your dollar tomorrow. But it's not. And the people who control the money supply, they're counting on you staying clueless. See, most people go their entire lives without understanding this invisible force that's slowly, silently, methodically stealing their wealth. They work harder, make more money, but somehow they can afford less. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so, because you felt it too, haven't you? That nagging feeling that something's just off. Well, buckle up, because I'm about to show you exactly how this works.
Here's a question that's probably been eating at you. Why does 20 bucks feel like pocket change now when it used to actually buy you stuff? I mean, think about it. Remember when $20 meant something? When you could take that 20, go to a fast food place and actually leave with change? Yeah, those days are gone, my friend. And it's not just fast food, it's everything. Your grocery bill that used to be 50 bucks is now 80. Your rent that was reasonable 3 years ago now makes you question your life choices. That coffee you grab every morning? It's somehow doubled in price, but the cup got smaller. You're sitting there thinking, maybe I'm just bad with money. No, you're not. You're experiencing something that affects literally everyone, but nobody talks about it openly. Here's what's really messing with your head. Your paycheck might even be bigger than it was 5 years ago. You got raises, maybe even a promotion, but somehow you feel broker than ever. How is that even possible? It's like being on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You're running faster and faster, but you're not actually getting anywhere. In fact, you might even be moving backwards. And here's the truly messed up part. This isn't happening to you by accident. This isn't some natural law of the universe. This is the result of a system that's designed to work exactly this way. You know what the really crazy thing is? Most people just accept this. They shrug their shoulders and say, well, that's just how things are now. They adapt. They buy smaller portions, they eat out less, they postpone that vacation. But what if I told you that you're not supposed to just accept this? What if I told you that this whole thing has a name, and once you understand it, you can actually do something about it? So what the hell is happening to your money?
All right, time for some truth. What you're experiencing has a name: inflation. But forget everything you think you know about it, because what they teach you is basically a lie. Here's what they tell you. Oh, inflation is just a modest 3% per year. That's healthy. That's normal. 3% sounds tiny, right? Almost insignificant. Like, who cares about 3%? Well, let me put this in terms that'll make your blood boil. Imagine you have a bucket with a tiny hole in the bottom. Just a small hole. Oh, it's only losing 3% of the water each year. Sounds manageable, right? But here's the thing. That hole never stops. It's dripping 24/7, 365 days a year. After 10 years, your bucket has lost 30% of its water. After 20 years, you're looking at losing more than half of what you started with. That tiny 3% hole just ate your bucket alive. But it gets worse, because that 3% number, it's complete garbage. See, the government calculates inflation using something called the Consumer Price Index. Sounds official, right? But here's how they rig the game. When steak gets too expensive, they just say, well, people will buy hamburger instead. When hamburger gets too expensive, people will buy chicken. When chicken gets too expensive, people will buy beans.
They literally adjust their calculation based on you getting poorer. They call this substitution. I call it fraud. The real inflation, the stuff you actually buy, the stuff you actually need, is way higher than 3%. Try 8%, 10%, sometimes 15% or more. Think about it this way. Inflation is like a hidden tax that nobody voted for, except instead of the government taking money out of your paycheck, they're making every dollar in your pocket worth less. Same effect, but sneakier. It's the most brilliant scam ever invented because you can't see it happening day by day. You don't get a bill that says, inflation tax, $500. Instead, you just slowly notice that everything costs more and you assume that's just life. But here's what really grinds my gears. They act like this is some natural phenomenon, like inflation is gravity or something. Oh, prices just naturally go up over time. No, they don't. Prices go up because someone is printing more money, diluting the value of every dollar you own. It's like if you owned shares in a company and every year the company issued more shares without creating more value. Your slice of the pie gets smaller and smaller, but they tell you it's healthy growth. The truth is, your money is being stolen from you in slow motion. And the people doing it want you to think it's normal, natural, and necessary. But why would they want to steal your money in the first place? Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, let's get real for a minute. I'm about to show you some numbers that are going to make you question everything. Let's take a trip back to 2005. Bush was president, YouTube just launched, and your flip phone was the coolest thing you owned. But more importantly, your money actually bought stuff. Here's what $100 could get you in 2005. A tank of gas? $30. You had $70 left. Today, that same tank costs you $85, and you're praying your card doesn't get declined. A decent dinner for two at a restaurant? $40 with tip. Today, you're looking at $90 to $100 for the same meal, and somehow the portions got smaller. A cup of coffee? $1.50. Now it's $4.50. And they have the audacity to ask for a tip on the iPad. But let's talk about the big stuff. In 2005, the median home price in America was around $240,000. Today, try $420,000. The same house, same neighborhood, same everything, except now it costs nearly double. College tuition? In 2005, the average was about $6,000 a year for in-state public schools. Today, over $11,000 for worse education, by the way. Here's my favorite. A McDonald's Big Mac meal in 2005 cost $4.95. Today, $12.99 in most places. It's the same cow, same bun, same diabetes risk, but somehow it costs 2.6 times more. But wait, there's more. Your car insurance, your health insurance, your rent, your utilities, everything has roughly doubled or tripled. Everything except your salary. Oh, and here's the kicker. The government says this is only 3% inflation per year. According to their math, $100 from 2005 should be worth about $75 today. But try living like it's 2005 with today's $75. I dare you. You can't even buy a week's worth of groceries with what used to feed a family for 2 weeks. This isn't just about money getting weaker. This is about your entire standard of living being systematically downgraded while they tell you the economy is doing great. You want to know why you feel like you're working harder but getting nowhere? This is why. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. You're being robbed in broad daylight. But here's what they don't want you to figure out. This isn't happening by accident.
Now comes the part that's going to make you angry, really angry, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see every politician, every economic expert, and every "it's for your own good" policy forever. They want inflation. They need inflation, and they need you to stay poor. Here's why.
The biggest debtor in America isn't some broke college kid with student loans, it's the United States government. They owe $33 trillion. Trillion, with the T. Now, if you owe someone money, what's the easiest way to pay them back? Make the money worth less. It's the oldest trick in the book. Let's say the government owes China $1 trillion. If they can create inflation that cuts the value of the dollar in half, suddenly they only really owe China $500 billion in today's purchasing power. It's like paying off your mortgage with monopoly money. But it gets worse. Every time they need more money, for wars, for bailouts, for whatever politicians want to spend money on, they don't raise your taxes. That would be political suicide. Instead, they just print more money. And who pays for it? You do, through inflation. It's the most beautiful scam ever created. They get to spend unlimited money, and you get to pay for it through higher prices. They don't have to ask your permission. They don't have to put it to a vote. They just quietly steal your purchasing power. And here's the really sick part. They then turn around and blame inflation on everything except money printing. Oh, it's supply chain issues. It's corporate greed. It's Putin. It's the pandemic. Anything except the obvious truth. They printed too much money. You know what they call this? Modern monetary theory. Fancy name for we can print money forever with no consequences. And who suffers the consequences? Not them, you. Politicians love inflation because it makes their debt smaller and gives them unlimited spending power. Rich people love inflation because they own assets that go up in price. The only people who get screwed are middle-class working people who keep their money in dollars. You're not supposed to figure this out. You're supposed to blame your boss for not giving you bigger raises. You're supposed to blame greedy corporations. You're supposed to blame anyone except the people who are actually robbing you. But now you know. The question is, what are you going to do about it? If you do nothing about this, your retirement is already over. Done. Finished. Let me paint you a picture. You've been saving money your whole life. You've got your 401k, maybe some savings account earning a whopping 0.5% interest. You think you're being responsible. But here's the math that'll keep you up at night. If inflation runs at just 7% per year, which is conservative based on what we've seen, your money loses half its value every 10 years. That $100,000 you save for retirement, in 10 years, it'll buy what $50,000 buys today. In 20 years, $25,000. By the time you actually retire, you'll be shopping at the dollar store with your life savings. Meanwhile, the politicians who created this mess, they'll be fine. They have government pensions that adjust for inflation. The rich people who own real assets, they'll be fine too. Their stuff goes up in price along with everything else. But you're holding dollars while they print more dollars. You're playing a rigged game where the house always wins. Unless you learn to play by different rules. Here's what rich people figured out a long time ago. You don't fight inflation by saving more dollars. You fight inflation by not holding dollars at all. See, while you're putting money in savings accounts, earning 2% while inflation runs at 8%, rich people are laughing all the way to the bank because they don't keep their wealth in cash. They keep it in stuff that goes up when dollars go down. Real estate? When inflation hits, rent goes up. Property values go up. The rich guy who owns 10 rental properties isn't worried about inflation. Inflation makes him richer. Stocks? When companies' costs go up due to inflation, they just raise prices and pass those costs to you. Their profits keep growing, stock prices keep climbing. The rich person with a stock portfolio isn't losing sleep over inflation. Commodities? Gold, silver, oil, wheat? When the dollar gets weaker, these things get more expensive. Rich people own these assets. You don't. Even debt works in their favor. If a rich person has a mortgage at 3% interest and inflation is running at 8%, the bank is literally paying them 5% per year to borrow money. Meanwhile, you're afraid of debt because you think it's risky. Here's the brutal truth. The financial advice they give middle-class people, save your money, avoid debt, be conservative, is designed to keep you poor while inflation eats your wealth. But you can play the same game they do. You don't need millions of dollars to buy assets that beat inflation. You can start with $100. Index funds that track real companies, REITs that own real estate, even Bitcoin. Love it or hate it, it's designed to be inflation-proof. The key is getting your money out of dollars and into things that hold or increase their value when dollars lose theirs. Rich people aren't smarter than you. They just know the rules of the game. And now you know them too. So what's stopping you from starting today?
Here's what actually works. Fidelity or Vanguard for index funds, zero fees, real companies, beats inflation over time. Public or M1 Finance if you want to start small. Buy fractional shares of stocks and REITs with whatever money you have. For the crypto curious, Coinbase or Kraken. Start tiny, learn as you go. The point isn't to get rich quick. The point is to stop getting poor slowly. Pick one, download it, put in $20. Just start. Because here's the thing.
So here we are. You now know something that most people will never figure out. Your money is being stolen, legally, systematically, and silently. You know that inflation isn't some natural force. It's a policy choice that benefits politicians and rich people at your expense. You know that keeping your money in dollars is a guaranteed way to get poorer every year. And you know there's actually something you can do about it. So here's my question. What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to be like most people who learn this stuff and then do absolutely nothing? Who go back to checking their savings account balance and wondering why they feel broke despite working harder than ever? Or are you going to fight back? Because this isn't just about money. This is about your freedom, your future, your ability to build real wealth instead of just treading water while the system drains your bank account. The choice is yours, but choose fast, because while you're thinking about it, your money is still disappearing. If this opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments, what's the first asset you're going to buy?